what really happens after death. The moment we are placed in the grave, a new and unseen reality begins, one that every soul will face. It doesn't matter who you are, rich or poor, powerful or weak. No one can escape this journey. But what happens next is not the same for everyone. In Islam, the grave is more than just a resting place. It is the first step toward eternity. For some, it will be a place of peace and comfort, while for others, it will be a place of fear and regret. The experience you face in the grave depends entirely on how you live your life today. Are you prepared to face the questions of the grave? What will happen when the angels come to you? In this video, we will uncover the truth about what happens in the grave, an Islamic reality every Muslim must know. 1. The reality of the grave in Islam. In Islam, the grave is not merely a resting place for the physical body, it is the beginning of the next phase of existence, known as Barzakh. This phase is the barrier between worldly life and the hereafter. Once a person is buried, their soul enters this unseen realm, where they await the day of judgment. The experiences within the grave are directly linked to the life a person led and the faith they carried in their heart. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, described the grave as either a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of hell. It is a place where the soul faces the consequences of its actions. For the righteous, the grave is a place of peace and comfort. But for those who denied the truth or neglected their responsibilities toward Allah, the grave becomes a place of hardship and torment. The transition to the grave is also a form of awakening, a realization of the reality that was often ignored during worldly life. In the grave, the veil is lifted and the unseen becomes visible. At this stage, no wealth, status, or worldly achievements hold any value. What matters are the beliefs a person held and the deeds they performed. This reality serves as a powerful reminder for the living. It urges Muslims to reflect on their actions and to prepare for the inevitable. The temporary pleasures of this world fade, but what remains are the deeds that accompany a person to their grave. This understanding motivates believers to live a life of faith, obedience, and sincerity, knowing that the grave is the first step toward their eternal destination, either eternal bliss or endless regret. 2. The arrival of the angels, Munkar and Nakir. After a person is buried and their loved ones leave, two angels named Munkar and Nakir come to the deceased. Their arrival marks the beginning of the grave's questioning, a test every soul must face. These angels are specifically appointed by Allah to examine the beliefs a person held during their lifetime. Their appearance is unfamiliar and can be terrifying, especially for those who are careless about their faith. The questioning is simple but profound. The angels ask three crucial questions. Who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? These questions are not just about words. They reflect the core beliefs and actions a person lived by. Only those who sincerely believed in Allah, followed Islam, and accepted the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will be able to answer with ease. For the righteous believer, the answers will come naturally. Allah grants them firmness, allowing them to respond without fear. After answering correctly, the believer is shown their place in paradise, bringing them peace and comfort until the day of judgment. The angels treat them gently, and their grave becomes a place of rest. However, for those who rejected the truth or were heedless about their faith, the experience is completely different. They will be unable to answer or will respond with uncertainty. These individuals face severe consequences as their disbelief becomes clear. The angels will question them harshly, and the grave becomes a place of darkness and suffering. This stage emphasizes that true faith is not just verbal. It must be reflected in actions and sincere belief. No one can prepare for these questions at the last moment. The answers are a reflection of how one lived their life. This serves as a powerful reminder to strengthen faith and live according to Allah's guidance. The experience of the believer. For a true believer, the grave is a place of peace and comfort. Once the questioning by the angels Munkar and Nakir is complete, and the believer successfully answers with faith and certainty, Allah grants them ease. The believer's soul experiences a sense of relief, as they are reassured of Allah's mercy and the reward that awaits them. The grave, which could be a place of fear, transforms into a tranquil, resting place. One of the greatest blessings for the believer is that the grave expands, providing a sense of openness and freedom. Instead of being confined, they feel secure and at ease. A window to Jannah, paradise, is opened, allowing them to see and feel the beauty and blessings that await them. From this window, the cool breeze and fragrance of paradise reach them, making their time in the grave a period of anticipation and joy. The believer is also accompanied by their good deeds, which take on a comforting form. This companionship provides reassurance and serves as a reminder of the righteous actions they performed during their life. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mentioned that the believer will be clothed in garments from paradise and will rest peacefully while awaiting the day of judgment. In this state, there is no fear of punishment or regret. Instead, the believer feels relief, knowing that the temporary trials of this world have led to eternal reward. The kindness and mercy of Allah envelop them, and the grave becomes a place where they can rest peacefully until the resurrection. This experience reflects the immense value of living a life dedicated to faith, sincerity, and righteous deeds. For those who strive to please Allah, the grave is not a place of fear. It is the beginning of everlasting peace and divine mercy. The experience of the disbeliever or sinner. For those who reject faith or live a life of disobedience, the grave becomes a place of fear and torment. After the questioning by the angels Munkar and Nakir, if the deceased is unable to answer correctly, their suffering begins. The inability to respond reflects a life spent neglecting the truth and ignoring the guidance of Allah. At this point, no excuse or denial can save them from the consequences of their choices. One of the first punishments for the disbeliever or sinner is that the grave tightens around them. This constriction is so severe that the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, described it as the grave closing in until the ribs of the deceased interlock. This physical discomfort symbolizes the spiritual burden carried by those who turned away from faith. The grave, which could have been a place of rest, becomes a place of ongoing hardship. A window to hell is opened for the disbeliever, allowing them to feel its intense heat and smell its unbearable stench. This window remains open, offering a constant reminder of the torment awaiting them. The sight of their place in hell fills them with fear and despair as they realize the consequences of rejecting the truth. Additionally, their evil deeds take on a terrifying form and accompany them in the grave, offering no comfort, only a reminder of their misdeeds. The torment is not just physical, but also emotional, as the soul experiences regret for wasted opportunities and the rejection of faith. This harsh reality serves as a warning for those who take their faith lightly. It emphasizes that true success lies in submitting to Allah and preparing for the hereafter. The grave reveals the reality of one's life choices, and for those who deny the truth, it becomes the beginning of eternal suffering. 5. The importance of preparing for the grave. The grave is the first stage of the hereafter, and how one experiences it depends on their actions in this world. Knowing the reality of the grave should motivate every Muslim to prepare for this inevitable journey. Once a person dies, their opportunity to earn good deeds ends. Only 3 things continue to benefit them: ongoing charity, sadaqah jariyah, beneficial knowledge they left behind, and righteous children who pray for them. These lasting deeds can bring ease and mercy in the grave. One of the most effective ways to prepare for the grave is to strengthen one's faith through sincere worship and remembrance of Allah. Regular prayers, salah, recitation of the Quran, and seeking forgiveness, istighfar, protect a believer and become a source of light in the grave. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught the importance of seeking refuge from the punishment of the grave in our daily prayers. This simple act reflects a believer's awareness of the hereafter and their desire for Allah's mercy. Good character and fulfilling obligations also play a significant role in preparing for the grave. Acts of kindness, honesty, and helping others leave a positive impact that continues to benefit after death. Moreover, performing deeds solely for Allah's pleasure ensures that these actions will stand as a source of comfort when facing the trials of the grave. It is also crucial to reflect on death regularly. This reminder helps believers avoid arrogance, repent from sins, and prioritize their relationship with Allah. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes that the life of this world is temporary and that the hereafter is everlasting. By living a life of righteousness, humility, and obedience, one can face the grave without fear. Preparing now not only brings peace in this life, but also ensures ease when the soul enters the next. The reality of the grave is a powerful reminder that this life is temporary, but our deeds will stay with us. By strengthening our faith, performing good actions, and seeking Allah's mercy, we can prepare for a peaceful journey in the hereafter. At Pure Deen, we aim to share reminders that bring us closer to Allah. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Islamic content. Comment below. May Allah grant us a peaceful grave and His eternal mercy. May Allah bless us all with a righteous ending. Ameen.